values. I think if we want to deal with certain problems in the society, the best method is to solve the cause of those problems, not the results. So for example, if there is pollution, I can wear a mask. But wearing mask is not the solution to the pollution. We need to promote environmental protection in order to solve the problem from the essence. And I think some problems in the society that we can see and we can observe among people in general are mostly due to the demotion of certain cultural values that we, as people who work in these educational sectors, whether in pre-university or university life, we need to promote those values. And I'd like to go through a very short 10-minute journey about those topics. So if we want, there are lots of definitions made for culture. One of the very simple definitions of culture, which is of course not clear from criticism, but it works, is that culture is communication and communication is culture. So through your communication, you create your culture. And through your culture, you also shape your communication. Because of your culture, you shape your communication. So they say, for example, people of X country, they are very, they have very high rate of hospitality. It is in communication. And communication is verbal and non-verbal. And non-verbal means anything, including silence. So if we go through this definition to the next slide, which is about if culture is communication, communication is culture, what are the major elements of culture? There are 5 major elements of culture. There are others, but these are the most important 5. One of them is language, and everybody here, because you speak English and you understand English, you know what language is. Language is the basic means of communication, the tool of communication. So symbols, for example, object symbols. For example, this color, this logo, it's an object symbol that represents Rama, the hotel, for example. And the non-verbal symbols, for example, a kind of handshake, a kind of movement, they may symbolize certain stuff. And when it comes to norms, there are 2 types of norms: mores or mos, which are things that you should stick to, otherwise you get punished. Like regulations and rules. And there are some folkways which are better to do. For example, in a funeral, it's better not to laugh, but if you laugh, you will not be punished, but it is not going to be nice, right? So when we come to religions and beliefs, religions and beliefs are different ideologies. Might not be divinery, might be just a kind of, you believe in economy. You believe in evolution, in science, for example. They are not related to religion. So religions and beliefs in general, and values. Values, it's our point of discussion here. It's, if we go through a very short, simple definition for values, it says anything getting importance in our daily life becomes our values. Whatever is important to me. For example, commitment to the time. I know I have a presentation at 11:36, and I was so worried about the time because it means a lot. So anything that's important. So commitment is a value to me. Commitment is a value, and the origin of values is not biological, but a social production. While living in the society, the values develop. So when we live in the society, those values develop, or they do not develop. Maybe they become absent. Values depend upon the culture. Cultures, because it's one of the elements. It's one of the elements that shapes culture. Culture varies from society to society, and those values are different in every social situation. So it's okay if I see someone, for example, wearing certain kind of stuff. It's okay if I see something doing his prayers in a different way compared to mine. These are differences, diversities. And values are what we like and what we say. Values are the good idea and thinking of a person. So I will just want to, because time is so limited. Some values are hereditary. Hereditary means you inherit it, but not inherited like in the genes. Inherited which we gain from our elders, from our parents, from our elder brothers and sisters, from elder people, peers, books. We are reading from, in books. We get educated. And parents in educational and social contexts. And I highlighted educational intentionally because we are talking about education, the role of education in promoting the values. Culture is full of values and can transmit from one generation to another generation. So this culture, and when a natural object gets a meaning, it becomes a value. Anything that gets a meaning becomes a value for us. When I say object, it's not object like this marker. Object is something that we believe in. So it's less materialistic, more metaphysical. If I can, these are examples of values. Examples of values. Values that I think we need to promote in the society. I don't say they are absent, but they have not been promoted for. Value of truthfulness, respect, appreciation, love. At the end of every letter in Iraq, in Arabic we say ma'a shukri wa taqdir, wal imtinan. In Kurdish we say lagarrezu piazanin man. These two are enough to make life very, very nice, very cozy. Just if we mean them, lagarrezu piazanin man, with respect and appreciation. If you respect and appreciate, everything will be cool. Even in friendship, in love, in communication between people, parents, husbands and wives, whatever. Just appreciation and respect, opens lots of gates to happiness. So appreciation, love, ethics, trust and confidence, humbleness, optimism, friendship, freedom, spirit of voluntary work, charity, justice, tolerance, coexistence, feeling responsible, mercy, innovativeness, commitment, and integrity. Actually, I taught my students in the third year at the university these values, how to promote with them. I didn't ask them to write a report for me or make a presentation. I asked them, each group of 3 students, to make a project how to promote these values in the society. And they came out with very, very innovative ideas. A group, for example, about commitment, they gave, plant to 10 people in the society. 10 plants. And they said, these are plants, take them home. You have 1 month, and after 1 month we come to take it back from you to see whether you were able to take care of it or not. And at the end of the month, only 3 or 4 people were able to take care of the plants, and the plants were still alive, and they grew. The rest died. Why? Because they did not take care of them. So they failed to commit themselves to caregiving and the times of watering, whatever, sunlight. So this is commitment. So they knew that their value for commitment is so low, and the rest knew that they have done great stuff. Okay, so you might, if you can just see that some of these are in red, like respect, ethics, friendship, freedom, tolerance, and coexistence. I just want to go to the next slide. Before that, there are some considerations to know about education, and if we want to promote, if we want to insert as part of the curriculum in the educational sector and take care of these values in the classes, what should we do? First, each of the values could be broken down into several concepts and skills. Values could be broken down into concepts and skills. And by the way, these values are not like, for example, things that are quite different from one another. Because they talk about human life, they get overlap with one another, they meet one another, they work side by side with one another. And when you have all the values together, then you can have a society full of virtues. Because, for example, if you have someone who is trustworthy but who is not committed, again, that person might not be considered as a completely good person, with due respect. Each value could be, so we can teach the values through concepts and skills, training. And each value could be taught in 2 to 4 weeks. Each of these values in the classroom, along with the other classes, it's going to be very favored and, highly welcomed by the students. by the learners, even children or elderlies. So if we bring them and we teach those values, and the values should be promoted practically through the virtues of having them and the mischiefs of losing them, of missing them. So just imagine, just show them how a lie might erupt certain problems and disasters in the society. And at the same time, show them if you commit yourself to certain values, for example, to be trustworthy, to become trustworthy, how it will make life, let's say, more beautiful. So these are things, at least things to consider. Actually, there are others, but because of the time, let me just give you a short example of something. This is a Quranic ayah, or Quranic verse, or two Quranic verse. They talk about, for example, the first one says, please do not make fun of other people. يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا يسخر قوم من قوم عسى أن يكونوا خيرا منهم. So don't make fun of other people. Maybe they are better than you, so why do you make fun of them? Or, women criticizing other women, etc. till the end. They are all, and ولا تنابزوا بالألقاب. Do not call one another by names, by mean names. And the other ayah talks about, cursing others' beliefs and gods. Someone may believe in a statute in India, in Nepal. So you should not insult their God, because if you do, it says in the ayah, they might also insult your God. So if I love my God, I should not insult others' gods, because if I do, they will insult mine too. Now, if I teach this to people just in the Friday preaching, for example, it might not work. It might not work. But let us go back to if we go back to this slide, thank you. Just mainly those 6 parts. Respect. If we promote for respect as a value, promote for ethics as a value, promote for friendship as a value, promote for freedom as a value, promote for tolerance, and promote for coexistence in the class, I don't need anyone to tell people, hey, if you don't do that, you will go to hell or heaven. No, they will do it because they they learned this. And so they started learning how to respect others' beliefs, how to respect others' cultures, how to respect others' understandings. And I think this should become the top priority of universities and schools in Kurdistan region and in Iraq. And thank you so much. Again, I hope I committed myself to the time. And thank you.